Namaskar and a very good morning. Welcome to the audio cast from Kotak Securities. I'm your host and guide Anindya Banerjee. कल यूएस स्टॉक मार्केट्स क्लोज्ड इन द ग्रीन बट आज कोई फॉलो थ्रू एशिया में एटलीस्ट नहीं दिख रहा है. एशियन equities are trading in the red but dollar index is largely flat. Last 24 hours dollar index has been flat, hovering within a range. और डॉलर रुपी इसके कारण हो सकता है कि फ्लैट टू हायर ओपन करे. और डॉलर रुपी का एक रेंज अभी बन रहा है जो है 79.20 और 80 के बीच ऑन द स्पॉट लेवल्स. एंड इफ यू लुक एट द मैक्रो ड्राइवर्स तो उसमें भी देर आर kind of positives and negatives which are evenly stacked. On the positive side for the rupee, oil prices are lower, 93-94 के आसपास है Brent. Secondly, FPI flows are the inflows are quite robust. So those are all positives, and this whole expectation that Indian bonds will get included in the global bond indices, though that's a more of a medium to long term play, but at least it helps the sentiment, and at high levels RBI intervention is definitely there. So these are all positives for the rupee, but on the negative side, a strong dollar index, 20-year high on the dollar index, and with the US bond yields trading at the highest level since 2007, and the global risk जो equity sentiment है that is fragile. मतलब दो दिन का rally होता है फिर third day there is a sell off. So this kind of an environment is negative for the Indian rupee. So एक तरफ जैसे positives है, दूसरी तरफ there are negatives. So which means that even the macro drivers are pointing towards this range to be in play, that is 79.20 and 80 levels. Now, this range being intact, how do you play? There are a couple of ways to play a range. One is if you are using futures, you have to wait for the range extreme. So when prices get closer to 79.30 on a spot basis, you can look to buy because the stop loss will be smaller. When prices get closer to 80 levels, you can look to sell because the stop loss will be smaller once again. Otherwise, you can look to sell options, for example, straddles or strangles, but our preferred option strategy is iron fly क्योंकि हो सकता है due to some global event there could be a temporary breach in the range, like it happened let's say early part of this week and last week when it was looking like it's going to break through the 80-10 level convincingly and head higher, but it just pulled back and fell all the way down to 79-20 levels or 79-30 levels on the spot. तो ऐसे temporary breaches in the range may occur. So in order to avoid a margin call if such temporary breaches happen, the advisable way is to sell iron flies, which is basically you sell a ATM straddle and you buy a strangle so that you don't have an unlimited risk. The trade itself has an inbuilt stop loss, और एक और advantage है, your margin deployment is almost like 70% of the margin deployment in a straddle. So these are the things why we prefer an iron fly instead of a straddle or a strangle. But in case you are doing a straddle and a strangle, maintain a proper stop loss. So that is important because those trades don't have an inbuilt stop loss. You have to maintain a proper stop loss. So this is the outlook in Indian rupee and how you can trade it. Now coming to the cross INR, और वहाँ पे action है. If you are a momentum player, Euro INR, GBP INR, JPY is where the momentum is. क्योंकि जैसे USDINR is in a range, but if you look at Euro dollar, pound dollar, and dollar yen, it is basically indicating that Euro INR, GBP INR, and JPY INR will be under pressure. क्योंकि जो यूरोप का मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक सिचुएशन है and the energy crisis which is unfolding, it is hurting both the euro and the pound pretty badly, which means we can see even lower prices on the euro USD and GBP USD. And क्योंकि ultimately a GBP INR is a combination of GBP USD and USD INR prices, and USD INR being in a range, मतलब you can play the large part of the expected decline in GBP dollar through or by shorting GBP INR. Same goes for Euro INR. In order to it can be a nice proxy play on the bearishness on Euro dollar. So in order to bet that Euro dollar can fall much lower, you can go short on Euro INR. But keep one thing in mind, that these currencies are extremely volatile. So a lot of people like to trade only intraday in these currency pairs and carry very small positions overnight. Because overnight when we close at 5, the market becomes super active, and as a result of which there are times when the GBP and Euro will do a big gap, like 1 rupee, 1.5 rupees. Even we have seen 3 rupees and more kind of gaps. If those gap up and downs happens in your favor, then it's fine. But if it happens against you, it can cause immense losses. So it's very important that when you are carrying positions overnight, or you're doing a positional trade in Euro and GBP, or even for that matter JPY, that you have a smaller position size. You can, so that you are able to manage it if the market gaps against you, and stick to proper stop losses. इसके लिए a lot of people focus on intraday trading in Euro and GBP and JPY, and these are high momentum pairs. And currently जो theme है इसमें you can get a nice structural decline in these pairs. But again, keep proper stop losses and make sure that your position sizing is not large when you're carrying positions overnight. So that's it, folks. This is Anindya Banerjee signing off. A fantastic day ahead.